Today we are going to talk about why and how to buy gold and silver. You may be familiar with this. You may have seen this before. This is cash. It used to be used heavily in the past, but now this is going away. All right. What we're left with is a choice between crypto, which is a dematerialized type of asset or currency, and this 1 ounce gold coin, which here in the UK this is considered legal tender. So if I cannot pay with cash, if I don't have access to cash, I can go and use this and I can pay with this, and the counterparty in the transaction is legally obliged to take this as a payment. Now, cash is disappearing. There are so many efforts globally right now underway to replace cash going forward. So although cash is still in circulation today, it is probably going to be replaced pretty soon with central bank digital currencies. So these are coming in fast and furious. A lot of central banks throughout the world are focusing on implementing central bank digital currencies. UK is one of those countries. Sweden is another one, I believe. I mean, the entire European Union is working on this. And there are other countries around the world working on implementing a central bank digital currency. So when that is going to come live, so whether it's next year, 3 years from now, or later, what's going to happen is we won't be able to use cash anymore, and we are going to be left with a choice between using the central bank digital currency, which is most likely going to be centralized at the government level, and that in itself incurs a lot of hard questions we need to ask, whether it's safe to have the government have control over our money, and with the click of the button somebody may get locked out of the financial system or access to their own money. Just a caution note here, China already has a central bank digital currency and already has this system in place. So if you want to know what's coming to your country, you only need to look to China and their financial system there, and you will know exactly what I mean. So with the central bank digital currency in place, you're left with either using that and taking a risk, or using an existing cryptocurrency and pay in cryptocurrency and hoping that the government cannot track your purchases or track you and your transactions that way. And the third option is the one we are talking about today, which is investing in gold and silver, specifically gold coins like this one, silver coins. And the reason for this is because if something goes wrong, you have a tangible asset that you can exchange. Most countries have their own coinage in silver and gold that are established as legal tender, and you have some tax relief with that for appreciation. Having gold coins and silver coins is another way to make sure that if worse were to happen, if there was total control of the money supply, if everything was digital, and if there's a conflict breaking out, if there are cyber attacks that take out the entire infrastructure that banks use, or if there is a solar flare that takes out electricity for a number of days, if there is an EMP, electromagnetic pulse, if there is a conflict, it can take out again electricity, electrical networks and all that. What I'm saying is, I suggest that you think of a way to diversify your money so that aside from cryptocurrency and central bank digital currency, which we will probably all have in the future, you also have some physical silver and gold coins that you can exchange for goods if a worst case scenario, like a Mad Max scenario, were to happen. If you haven't seen Mad Max, the movie, highly recommend you look that up. You'll have an idea what kind of world Mad Max is about. Hopefully that will never come to pass. for us, but better be prepared than sorry. Okay, so we're talking today, as I said, about why and how to buy gold and silver, and then this is a step-by-step guide for beginners. Look, there's no shame. We all start somewhere. I was a beginner a few years ago, and I'm hoping that the information I have today can help you start, and then you can build more knowledge and information as you go on. So the topics we are going to cover today is talking about gold and silver as a store of value, as sound money, as a means of exchange in place for millennia. We are going to talk about the gold standard, the current economic situation and inflation, the current gold and silver prices and predicted prices, and how to buy and store gold and silver today. So talking about silver and gold as a store of value, sound money, and means of exchange for millennia. So we all know about silver and gold being used for millennia as jewelry, but it's interesting to know that silver and gold were used as coins as well as jewelry in the thousands of years up until recently. So they already have an established history of store of value and sound money. And what's important to know is that both gold and silver are precious metals. And what you need to know is that silver has a huge industrial use as well. So there are many industries that use silver. So silver is used in our phones, in our technology, gadgets. And obviously you would be surprised perhaps to know that we have trace amounts of gold and silver in our bloodstream, in our body. Because of the strong demand for the use in industry, silver has the prospect of growing in price at a higher rate than gold. Even if the price of silver is really devalued today compared to the price of gold, silver has a higher propensity of growth based on what experts have to say. So according to Investopedia, around 700 BC, gold was made into coins for the first time, and silver has historically been used for coinage and jewelry and is also highly conductive, which, as we discussed, gives it many industrial uses. Moving on to discuss the gold standard. Interesting for those of us who are young to know that in the past, the Western countries had used a gold standard. It's important to know that although there is no gold standard being used at the moment, there was a gold standard in use for a number of decades in the past. So a number of countries in the past were in an agreement to use the gold standard. So some of the countries were UK and US, and I think a few other countries in Europe. The gold standard was used for a number of decades. It started in the late 1800s and it was discontinued in the UK in 1931, and then US eliminated the gold standard in 1971. Right, so the reason why I mention a gold standard here and the past gold standard is because based on the news that I see and based on the experts following silver and gold, the prices and what's going on in the market, a lot of experts are drumming the rolls for a new upcoming precious metal standard. So not necessarily a gold standard as much as a basket of precious metals, including gold, silver, platinum, palladium, and others. So it's important to know that there was a gold standard in the past. It was eliminated for various reasons, political, economic reasons. And because of what's going on in the world today, a lot of experts are expecting a new gold standard or a new precious metal standard to be reinstated globally. And the expectation is to have the central bank digital currencies and cryptocurrencies backed by gold, silver, and other precious metals. So that's a glorious image right there, and it may never happen, but right now I want you to know that this is a conversation among the experts in the field. All right, so moving on to current economic situation and inflation. I think it's nothing much to comment here. We're all living it. We're all suffering and feeling it in our pockets. But just to give you some examples. So current examples of official inflation rates. A US inflation rate 9.1% as of June 2022. UK inflation rate 9.4% as of June 2022. And EU inflation rate 8.6% again as of June 2022. Now, keep in mind, these are official inflation rates published by the central banks, the governments, and what we all know is that the real inflation rates felt in our own pockets are more like at least 25%, if not more, and in some countries they approach 100%. So how do I know that? I look at what I pay for energy today and compare that with what I paid for energy 2 years ago or 1 year ago, and I cringe. And the same goes for food prices and other commodity prices, and some countries are more affected than others. I have relatives in East Europe and I know how difficult it gets from 1 month to the next. In East Europe, disposable income is even less than in Western Europe, and not to mention Asia or African countries or Latin American countries, where the realities there are really, really, really bad. So the less disposable income, the poorer the country, the more difficult for people there to cope with this new reality, which is very unfair. Okay, so moving on to current gold and silver prices and predicted prices. Before I show you the price charts for silver and gold, I want you to keep in mind that Russia has announced that it's going to back the ruble by gold, and ruble is the Russian currency. So keep that in mind. Then Zimbabwe government is selling gold coins to population to combat rising inflation. And then Jim Rickards. If you don't know Jim Rickards, I strongly suggest you look him up on YouTube. He's a very, very knowledgeable expert, and you really want to know what he has to say. And he predicts the possibility of a return to gold standard. He says it's unlikely, but it's still possible. If that were to happen, he says that the price for 1 ounce gold coin could be anywhere between $7,000 and $44,000, which is huge. Now, the reason why there's this huge gap is because the price for 1 ounce gold coin would depend on how you measure the money that's in circulation, because there are many ways, many formulas to measure the money supply in the market. So that's one factor. Another factor is how much of the money supply currently in circulation government needs to back by gold in order to arrive at the accurate gold price. And his argument is that back in the day when we had the gold standard, the UK succeeded having a gold standard in place with just 20% of their money supply being backed by gold, and I believe that the US had 40% of their money supply backed by gold. So you see, that's the reason for the gap in his prediction between $7,000 and $44,000. And for reference, it's good to keep in mind that the context for this prediction is when today, 28th of July 2022, the time of recording this video, 1 ounce gold coin is priced at $1,740 US. So I am going to show you the current silver and gold price charts, and I think this is going to give you further information on where we are today and compare with historic prices to give more context. So let's look at gold. Let's look at the price chart for gold historically. So I've selected the past 20 years. I've selected USD, so US dollar currency. So you can see where we are today. As of the 27th of July 2022, we have $1,740 US for 1 ounce of gold, and 1 ounce is about 33 grams or 31, I'm not sure. I think it differs depending on the coin and the country that mints it. And 1 kilo of gold as of 27th of July was $55,949 US. So this is where we are today, more or less, and then you can see historically what's been the price evolution, and then you can tie this with whatever happened economically and politically in the world at different stages. So you can look what happened in 2008, 2009, 2010. You can look what happened during the recent global crisis. Again, you can look how the price has spiked and so on and so forth. Now we look at the silver price, again, historically for the past 20 years, and selecting US dollars for the currency. You can see where we are today. So as of 27th of July, we have 1 ounce of silver is $19.35, and 1 kilo of silver is $622.06. And you can see that compared to the peak in March 2011, the price of silver is very low. It's very cheap today. So I think that's important. And one other thing I wanted to share with you here is that if we narrow the analysis for the last quarter, I want to show you one interesting dynamic that I observe, because I'm invested in silver and gold physically as well as in custody, and I measure and monitor the performance on a daily basis. And then what I've noticed is that you see this downward trend here for silver. This basically shows that the price of silver is very much tampered with. The price of silver is very heavily manipulated, and all the experts I follow that are invested in silver and they follow silver, they all conclude that silver price is artificially being suppressed, and then when this is finally going to stop, then the price of silver is going to shoot up. And obviously all of us silver investors are looking forward to that day. And I want to show you the gold price for the past quarter as well. The same kind of scenario and narrative is happening to gold as well. Both metals prices are artificially being suppressed, but silver price is literally much more heavily suppressed than gold's price. And again, keep in mind that silver also has an industrial use as well. I wanted to show you that there is gold to silver ratio, and this is important to know. It represents how many ounces of silver are equivalent to 1 ounce of gold. And this ratio has changed over the time, and the ratio, the gold to silver ratio, used to be between 14 and 100, and we had a peak in 2020 when this ratio reached 123 during the global crisis. All right, we are coming now to my favorite part, which is how to buy and store gold and silver today. Again, I've explained to you at the beginning of the video the reasons why I personally invest in gold and silver. And I wanted to give you information on the possibilities on how to invest. You can start small and build up. It's important that you start. That's what's important. That's what matters. So the first way you can invest in silver and gold is to buy with physical delivery, which means non-custodial. Buying physical gold and silver means that you actually take physical delivery, which means that you get the coins or the bars delivered to your address. So you have them in your possession, then you can choose how you store them afterwards, but these would be within your control. And one thing to keep in mind is that the prices for physical delivery, when you buy physical silver and gold, they usually include high markups on the spot price. And these typically vary between 20 and 25%, sometimes even higher. But you have to keep in mind the reason for the markups is because the real price for physical gold and silver always includes a more accurate valuation. Obviously, it's not perfect because the prices are still being suppressed, but it's hard to get physical silver and gold to have it delivered. So if you have a chance to be able to pay these high markups and have at least some of the silver coins and gold coins in your possession, I highly strongly encourage you to do so. The platform I use to buy physical silver and gold is called Bullion by Post, and I'm going to include links to this in the description box. If you use my affiliate link in the description box below to buy physical gold and silver with Bullion by Post, you also get a free silver coin with your first purchase. So I strongly encourage you to take advantage of this offer. Bullion by Post delivers in the US, UK, Ireland, France, and EU. And as I said, you have the affiliate link below. You can get a free 1 ounce silver coin with your first purchase. So make sure you take advantage of that. The other way you can purchase silver and gold is using a custodial option. And if you use this option, make sure that the platform you choose allows you to later on, if you change your mind, opt for getting a delivery for your silver and gold. Ideally, you also want to have a platform where you can have the custody outside of the banking system and your silver and gold stored in segregated accounts and have your silver and gold audited daily. The benefit of using this custodial option is that the prices for silver and gold that you buy this way with this option with custody is very close to the spot price, which is very important. So you don't pay the high margins like you do for physical delivery. So this is better if you have a smaller budget and you are very conscious of the fees involved. So the platform I currently use and I invest with for custody silver and gold is Bullion Vault. And Bullion Vault provides all these elements here that I've described, and I feel comfortable with having the custody with Bullion Vault. And Bullion Vault serves clients globally in all countries, and I have an affiliate link for Bullion Vault in the description box below. If you use that, there's no cost to you. Highly recommend you give them a try. When you first open an account, a free account with them, I think they give you a very small amount of silver or dollars that you can play with to get familiar with their platform. Not sure which one, I can't remember. In any case, they give you that so you can play, you can test the platform and see how that works. It's very intuitive, it's very easy to use. This is for you to practice and get comfortable with using the platform before you actually go ahead and transfer your own money for your purchase of silver and gold with them. So I wanted to share with you the Bullion Vault platform. I wanted to show you the wealth of resources available on Bullion Vault. Literally, you have frequently asked questions and step-by-step guides, as you see here on the screen. And then you can follow through with every topic you want to get more information on. And you can have frequent asked questions on vaulting, on safety, operational, about us, governance, robots, US residents. What helped me decide on using them many years ago, and I'm still using them, so I'm an active client as well, is that they are very huge on transparency and they give you all the information you need in order to make an informed decision. With the information they provide, you realize how great they are as a service to you. I've been using them for years, and their custodial prices are very low. You can choose to have your gold and silver stored in a different country from where you live, which is awesome. And again, you can always change your mind later on and decide you want to take delivery, in which case you contact them and then you take delivery of your silver and gold. So that's awesome. The other platform I wanted to share with you is this one, Bullion by Post. Again, this is for physical silver and gold delivery. And again, they have a wealth of resources. I like them as well. They're very transparent. So you have all this information here. They have help information and frequently asked questions. And you can go through all these links and you can select whatever topic you want more information on. Okay. So these are very useful. I highly recommend both of them, Bullion Vault and Bullion by Post. All right. I hope you enjoyed this. The videos I recommend you watch next are the videos I made on cryptocurrency, and I'll link them up, give them a watch. One is about the step-by-step process I followed to buy my first cryptocurrency, And second video is why I decided that my first cryptocurrency investment, and probably the only cryptocurrency investment, is XRP. So I show you my research there and how I come to the conclusion of choosing XRP among all the cryptocurrencies, and I'm sticking by that decision. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Check those other videos up, and I'll see you in one of my next videos soon. Take care for now.